Well, guys, we're here. We're at the end of 2024. Been a lot that's kind of been happening in the whiskey world this year. I personally have had a lot happen in the past 12 months. Did some traveling, did some distillery tours, met some really cool people, started working with some really cool people. So today we're going to check out my 7 top whiskeys, top bourbons of 2024. Roll that intro. All right, guys, so as 2024 comes to a close, it is time for the list, the top 7 bourbons of 2024, put together by yours truly. Disclaimer, this is based off of my availability, my palate, things that I like. It might not necessarily be what you like, but it's also, like I said, based heavily on availability in bottles that I was able to get my hands on. I didn't even see a BTAC bottle this year. No, that's a lie. I did see one BTAC bottle that was disgustingly overpriced, so it did not come home with me. But most of these other releases, I did not get a chance to get my hands on. No Michter's 10, no Michter's 10 Rye, anything like that. My travels to Kentucky, I didn't find anything super allocated. So this is what I've been able to get my hands on, either through connections with my local store owners and maybe some sponsorships with the channel, or just incredibly generous third parties. So number 7, this one is actually an American single malt. And this is the Wier American single malt small batch, coming in at, was it 96 proof? Yeah, 96 proof. This was very generously donated to the channel for purposes of review by the great folks over at World Whiskey Society. So this is, well, it's just to kind of fill you in on World Whiskey Society. They source their whiskey from all over, and then they blend it or craft it in a way that presents something very, very awesome in most cases, if not all cases. I've only had one of their products. It's not really distributed here to Michigan, so I don't have a huge sampling size, but this is Oklahoma sourced American single malt, and it's freaking fantastic, guys. If you haven't already done so, Breaking Bourbon did a review on this that is written so much better than what I could give this credit for. But the body, the depth of flavor, it is absolutely fantastic. When I posted that I got this bottle, like the first comment that somebody left, right, was that, oh, beware all that packaging. If they have to put that much shit on it, it must be a terrible whiskey. Nope, not true. I totally appreciate the sheriff's badge, the revolver cylinder cap, or cork. It is a cork. I love the old school print looking label. I mean, it's beautifully well crafted. It is absolutely fantastic put together. It is non-chill filtered. There's no artificial coloring added, and it's about 46%. Those are the 3 rules that I live by with American single malts, guys. And now that the TTB has ruled, there's some hard rules in place that'll be getting dropped December 18th. That document will be getting released. I think it's like 40 pages. But yes, World Whiskey Society, specifically this Wyatt Earp small batch, is absolutely amazing, and that is why it made my number 7 spot. Number 6, James E. Pepper Decanter Series Bourbon, coming in at 105 proof. This is a very early batch. This is batch number 5. I have heard that some of the older batches are really good, like this one, and some of the newer batches maybe not so. I haven't tried any of the newer batches, mostly because this is still pretty hard to find in my neck of the woods, but I absolutely love this bottle. I love everything about it. This looks like a very, very, very close reproduction of some James E. Pepper decanters from the 70s, and I love that. I love the eclectic styling and the glass on the bottle, the label on the front, the minimalistic style, the fat wooden cork, but the whiskey inside is just absolutely amazing. I'm a huge James Pepper fan as it is. We went to the distillery 2-3 summers ago. Hold on. Yeah, like 3 summers ago, I think. 2022. We went to the James E. Pepper distillery. So like 2.5 years ago we were there. And I loved it. I have probably 17, 18 of their single barrel picks. One of their single barrel bourbon picks. I've got their single malt. I've got the FKOs. I have an antique bottle of FKO that I haven't opened. I've got the discontinued 1776 Pedro Jimenez. Like everything that James E. Pepper has been putting out, I have just loved it. I know they were sourcing for a while. Don't care. I don't care. I think it's fantastic. I love the flavor. I love the product, the presentation. The people at the distillery were absolutely amazing. Everything about it, I am a fan. This is exceptional, and I will be grabbing a backup when I can. So number 6, James E. Pepper Decanter Series. Number 5, and I'm going to get heat for this one, Old Forester 1924 10-year 100 proof bourbon. Guys, this is fantastic stuff. It is. It is delicious. It is dark, dense, fantastically oaky, well-rounded bourbon. I don't know what else to say other than it's really, really good. The one thing that stopped this from being significantly higher on the list is its availability, because any other whiskey shop in the world you walk into, you can find most of the Whiskey Row series. This one is, it says right on here, Whiskey Row series, but it's incredibly allocated and it's about double the price of any of the others. At 100 proof, it's perfect for me. I think Old Forester shines at 100 proof. That is where it does its best work, is at that 100 proof range. But for $120, $130, some people were paying up to $200 for this bottle. No, guys, no, not doing that. Some of the 100 proof Black Label Old Forester picks are also exceptionally good. I know the Friends of Jack Zatuna did one recently that is like mind-blowing. Didn't get my hands on it. Would love to get my hands on it, or at least a sample. But if this were priced in that $75 to $80 range, like throw $20 on top of 1920, and I'm fine with it. This at $130, good, not thrilled. So the price is really what kills it for me from being any higher on this list this year. So Old Forester 1924 at number 5. Number 4, I hunted high and low for this one and finally got it and was not disappointed. This is the Bardstown Discovery Batch 12. This is the one that word on the street is like half 14-year-old wild turkey. And it's fairly verifiable, because one of the great things about the Bardstown bottlings, especially the Disco series, is you can see everything on the side of the label. They tell you everything about what's in the blend, how old it is, where it's sourced, what the mash bill is. So without getting too specific, I won't mention the specific mash bills, but it's 48% 14-year Kentucky bourbon, 29% 10-year Kentucky bourbon, 15% 10-year Kentucky bourbon, and 8% 6-year Bardstown Kentucky bourbon. So half of this, it's almost assured, half of this is 14-year wild turkey. And with wild turkey, or I'm sorry, Russell's Reserve 15 being widely thought of as the whiskey of the year, which I did not get a bottle of, so it's not on this list, but I did try it and can confirm, freaking amazing, mind-blowing, so good, absolutely fantastic. I would pay a ridiculous sum of money for that bottle. I would, but I've never seen one for sale here in Michigan. The one that I did see for sale in Kentucky was marked up to $750, and I don't ball that hard, guys. I don't. But if you guys see this, I found one of these on a shelf and bought it. I have not seen another one since. I know that the production on batch 12 was significantly lower than batch 10 and 11, so it's going to be harder to find, but I think well worth it. Definitely worth that hunt. I would buy a backup if I ever came across one, because it's exceptionally well crafted. It embodies everything that I like about Bardstown. It's got a great color, the nose, the palate, they match up. Everything for me is just chef's kiss, fantastic. So that, we're going to go number 3. This was actually a club pick, but this is the only one of their bottles that I have. And this is an Old Louisville 9-year single barrel, and this is 114 proof. Old Louisville is doing a lot of really cool blending and bottlings in Louisville. They're sourcing everything right now, I believe. It says distilled in Kentucky and Indiana, bottled by Old Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky. This is absolutely amazing, guys. A club near me did one of these picks. They reached out to like, hey, you need to have one of these. And I kind of balked and I hemmed and hawed a little bit, because it was a little bit on the pricey side, not insane, but still a little bit up there. And I'm so glad I did this. If you guys can see the color on that and how dark that is. This would rival a lot of bottles, especially at 9 years old. That is a fantastic, fantastic whiskey. Non-chill filter, just straight out of the barrel. The only thing between the whiskey and the bottle was like, I forget what he told me, it was like a 3,000 micron filter, something like that, which doesn't take hardly anything out of it. But this is exceptional. Old Louisville putting out some really good stuff. I know they have some higher age statement, like some 16 and 17 or 16-year hazmat, that I have not had a chance to try personally, but I have heard that it absolutely blows the doors off of most everything else on the market. So look out for Old Louisville to do big things next year, especially. A lot of these blending houses are kind of starting to pop up, especially with Mark Carter recently being able to purchase Old Carter back for $18 million, which I think is huge. So at number 3, Old Louisville, 9-year single barrel, super, super good, but it's a club pick. So it's kind of, one of those, you're not going to be able to replicate it. Now, number 2, and this one, I know you guys are going to say something because, hey, it's not open. How does he know what it tastes like? I have tried the sister bottle to this. So it's all same barrel. It was sent to the same shop. I was just able to try a sample from somebody in my barrel club that has opened theirs. This is an 11-year Jack Daniel's Coy Hill single barrel at like 132, almost 133 proof. So it's really, really, really good. I never got to try the original Coy Hill that was coming in at 140 plus proof, or like 138, 139. Never got to try one of those. Never even saw one of those here in Michigan. Allocation is a fickle creature here in the mitten. So I really have to lean heavily on the relationships I have with my shop owners. And thank you, Mark, from Shores Canteen, for making this one possible, because I think this is really, really good. I can't wait to pop the top on this one. I'm waiting for a friend to come over because he is a Jack Daniel's nut. So I would love to pop that with him and have him experience it with me. But if you guys get a chance to buy one of these bottles for a reasonable price, I paid less than $100 for this. It was a little north of retail, but I think he only tacked on $10. I think I paid $90 for this thing. And it is going for what I've seen on the secondary pages, $400 or $500 easily. So these Coy Hill bottlings are amazing. For those of you who don't know, Coy Hill, it is the highest elevation rickhouse on the Jack Daniel's property. So you get a lot more interaction with the wood, and can confirm there's a lot of deep, sweet wood flavors. I get a lot of sweet oak, molasses, like a hint of a chocolate. I don't remember exactly because it's been, like a week and a half since I tried it, but it was really good. Really, really good. And I cannot wait to try this. So yeah, and that brings us to bottle number 1. Old Stubborn Pot Still Straight Bourbon Whiskey, a blend of 10, 11, and 12-year pot still bourbons. Okay. And guys, this is just such a beautiful looking release, right? It's got all the gold embossing. It's just like a really, really pretty bottle. Very, very rich, very decadent feeling. This was sent to me by Rising Tide Spirits for purposes of review, and I consider myself very, very lucky to be able to partake in this. I absolutely loved this. I was one of those people that had a really negative opinion of pot still bourbons until this bottle. It's distilled in West Virginia, bottled by Rising Tide in Kentucky, but it is absolutely amazing. Ed Blay is doing some fantastic blending work over there. I look forward to their next release. I hope I get to try it because I missed out on the first one, but this is awesome. Awesome bourbon. It's just the product, the presentation, everything about it just screams luxury and decadence and high-end whiskey. And that's really what this is. That's truly what this is. It is a super deep flavored, well-rounded. It's got a great nose, great mouth feel. The finish lingers the exact right amount. It doesn't take your head off. Even at 124 proof, or it's at 123.8 proof, it's not lighting your hair on fire. It's just good. Can't say enough good things about it. Ed, once again, thank you for getting that out to me. But yeah, guys, these are my top 7 of 2024. So if you've made it this far, please smash that subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment down below. I will be releasing my top rye video of 2024 probably in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. I appreciate you guys following me. I know the channel's only been up for a couple of months. If we can get to that 250 subscriber mark, though, that's when the wheels are really going to start turning. I'm going to get a Patreon going, and then hopefully what we can move towards is doing some barrel picks, because that's really what I want to do. Got a couple of distilleries on board already that I've talked to. I just need to know that there's a solid number of you that would be interested in buying some. So with that said, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.